Alright nerds, so today we're going to talk about the chemistry of photosynthesis and respiration, and in particular, the energy of those two involved. So, what's the point of today? By the end of the day, you should understand the exothermic and endothermic nature of photosynthesis, which is endothermic, and respiration, which is exothermic. You also want to be able to balance the equations for both of these reactions. Okay, so let's see. You'll actually see that's a bit simpler than it looks. An exothermic reaction is, it says, just a reminder, you see that? An exothermic reaction is a reaction that releases energy from the breaking and creating of new bonds. So if we've got our reactants and our products, the reactant side has a, in this case, higher energy, and this has a lower energy, which means you've got leftover energy. So if this one if the bonds of this has an energy of 5 joules, it's just random numbers, and this one has an energy of 2 joules, it will be reactants gives you products plus energy. Now, which would be in this case plus 3 joules. Now, we never write that in our like this part. We never write that in our equations. We never write the energy aspect of it, so can that. But we do talk about reactants, exothermic and endothermic reactions. So an endothermic reaction is one where the product side, so we'll write 12 there just to make it easier, the product side has more energy stored in its bonds than the reactant side. Okay, so as an endothermic one, it absorbs energy. All right. So now let's look at photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is basically where all living things get their energy from. It happens in plants, and it is essentially carbon dioxide plus water, and we can write. And you should, I won't write this on, I haven't written this on here because I couldn't work out how to do it. There's a little other energy. So write energy above that arrow. So it's carbon dioxide plus water and energy gives you glucose and oxygen. Now that looks like this. So you've got CO2, carbon dioxide, water, boom. That's glucose right there, and there's your oxygen. Now, the first thing you want to do anytime you see a reaction like that is balance it. Okay, and this is what this reaction looks like balanced. Now, you can work out how to balance it, and that's probably ideal, but you could also just remember it if you want. Now, I would, as I said, remember how to balance it, but there we go. So that is photosynthesis. Now, because this is plus energy part, that means that the reaction is endothermic. Okay, so energy is stored in the bonds. In other words, it's really energy plus carbon dioxide plus water gives you, or goes to, sugar plus oxygen. And it's the sunlight energy, okay, so light energy. So the light energy from the sun is captured in an endothermic reaction. So energy is stored. It's like a natural battery. All right, respiration. This is the opposite. Basically, this is the reaction where we use that sugar. Okay, so we use that sugar for our chemical purposes to make our cells work. So it's glucose plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide plus water. Now, if you were to put the arrow the other way, you've got respiration. You've got, not respiration, what's it called? Let's get rid of that. You've got what we call photosynthesis. So respiration and photosynthesis are opposite reactions. So here we have glucose plus oxygen. So this is you burning the energy that you've stored, burning the food that you're eating, gives you carbon dioxide. This is the air we breathe out, and water, which is we also breathe out as a vapor. So let's balance it. Again, same numbers, same deal. So basically, we use this. Respiration is the process we use to access the energy stored inside sugar for our cell metabolisms. Okay, the energy is released as heat energy, and that makes it an exothermic reaction. So endothermic is photosynthesis, and you also need to be able to balance that equation. Exothermic is respiration, and you need to be able to balance that equation as well. All right, that's it. See you in class.